Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. Now tonight I have some lovely accounts for you. Seen from a blind, Somerset 2016. A 6-foot tall guy covered in hair from head to toe. Now tonight I have a number of accounts which each describe an individual that was described as being out of place or not of this world, seen by separate witnesses who have no contact or even knowledge of each other. This small sample of reports each includes the words, covered in hair from head to toe. A common explanation is usually given as, I don't know what it was or what I was seeing. It looked like a man, but it was really big and it was covered in hair all over. And that's quite common for a witness report in the UK. And the first account says, I live in rural Somerset and I have for 20 years. I've never seen anything unusual except for this one incident, and this is my story, take it or leave it. I was blackberry picking with my kids near my house, which is in a very remote area. There's a forest situated to my south and north, and we are in a large clearing which is littered with fern bushes and blackberry bushes. I noticed 3 enormous patches of fern that were squeezed down flat to the floor. And me and the kids looked and decided a herd of deer must have been bedded in there the previous night. Now bear in mind, I can still just about see the apex of the roof of our house from where we were standing. My son asked if we could make a blind that day and sit in it and try to see the herd that night as they returned to bed down. So we did exactly that. And my son, my daughter and myself went about making a blind against a blackberry bush halfway back towards the house. We entered the blind about 9 o'clock as the light was fading. The moon was full and the stars looked like little LED bulbs twinkling in the sky. It lit up the forest like a landing strip. Now we'd been sat for about 3 hours when I saw him. I was jerked into high alert when I saw a man walking north to south across the clearing. And he had no flashlight. And as he left the forest, that really bothered me. Most humans would carry a light source unless they wanted to remain hidden, which of course made me question why he was out there. It's nearly midnight, and this guy's on my land with no flashlight, walking around like he owns the place. He had no visible firearm, so he's not a poacher. Maybe a trapper? I lined it up and hit him with a 10 million candle power spotlight, and all I can say is, standing about 100 yards away, was a very well-built guy. He was 6 foot roughly in height. He was as ugly as you like and covered in hair from head to toe. I saw him for a split second before he seemed to melt into the floor. My gut twisted and my first reaction was to run, but both kids were sleeping. So with one under each arm, I ran back to our house. I got my shotgun and I stood in the back room waiting for this guy to come. Never before and never again have I seen anything like this. I'm reluctant to put a label on it, but I will say I'm certain it wasn't a man. We are a long way from anything out here. So if it was a man, he had some serious problems walking that far out in civilization at night, or he was looking to do something wrong. But I don't think it was a man. I can't explain it. That's my story, as ridiculous as it sounds. It happened. And now this is the first and last time I will ever tell it, because I have no desire to be called a nutter. So let's just say I saw something very strange in rural Somerset in June 2016. Now the description, covered in hair from head to toe, as I said, is used by witnesses all across the UK. The figures people report of many facial differences. There's differing heights and weights, and they're never exact. But the description of the hair is in almost every upright bipedal encounter. I have listed just some of them to show an example of pattern. And the creature of French from Great Pond, 1970s. I'm making this report on my father's behalf. This encounter happened in the early 70s. I shall give my best description of what my dad experienced that night as he relayed it to me. He said it was quite late. but the area was well lit by the moon. My dad was with his girlfriend at the time, and they were sat in a car by the pond or the lake there. I believe this place is called Frensham Great Pond near Farnborough, and it's really quite a remote area. Anyway, as the night unfolds, there was him and his girlfriend in another car park nearby. They were sat chatting, facing each other, and my dad said his girlfriend's facial expression changed. She suddenly looked in shock as she saw this thing go past the back window. Then suddenly, the man in the car nearby got out and said to my dad and his girlfriend that something along the lines of, "What the hell was that? Did you see it?" The man said it jumped on his bonnet, then ran off towards the lake. They went down to the lake to have a look and see if they could see it. And that's when my dad saw it. And all of them could see it running up the bank on the hill on the other side of the pond. And it was running fast. It must have run along the bank of this lake to the other side with ease. Now, the gentleman described the creature as it looked like a youngish being, and it was totally covered in hair from head to toe. The Forest of Bowland, half man, half ape. I was on a rambling holiday with my husband, and we wanted to walk the Dunstan Bridge Tramper Trail. We were just passing the old working man's club near the start of the trail, when I was startled to see a tall, hairy ape man running to the wood line. Now, I don't mean a man-size tall, I mean huge, like a half man, half ape. I was so startled we returned to the car. When asked, the witness supplied these details. He ran from the small hedgerow into the heavier woods, and I saw the side profile. He was a man with huge shoulders and legs thick with hair, like a monkey. He was covered in hair from head to toe. Now, the reddish-brown creature, Nottingham, December 2015. And as you will notice, all of these accounts have happened in the last number of years. I mean, at least within 10 years. So they're not historical accounts, they're quite up to date. And as I said, the reddish-brown creature at Cockgrove, Nottinghamshire. And people who live in Nottinghamshire will know the Owthorpe Road quite well. And there was 5 witnesses to this creature all in the same car. I was driving home, going along the Owthorpe Road from a Christmas party, and I was heading towards the A46. There were 4 other people in the car with me that night. And as I was approaching a corner of the road, the one just before the Eaton Park nursing home, the headlights of my car highlighted something stood there in the lay-by. It was about 6 feet tall and covered in reddish-brown hair all over from head to toe. The whole family saw it as they were with me in the car at the time. It had dark eyes and a human-looking face. I don't want any help, but I felt like I should share what we saw in case there was a large cat on the loose, because that's the only thing I can think of to explain it. My son said it was not a cat, that it was a monster. Now, after only about a month after taking this report, one of the BBR members went down actually and had a look at the area, as we thought it would be quite strange that it was outside the nursing home. But when he looked, there's quite a lot of nature reserve and farmland at the back of the nursing home. There was just like a little small, what we call a green corridor kind of thing. Coxgrove, December 2015, that one was. Now, this is an incredibly strange report, and one I've been really excited to bring you because you've never heard this one before. And I will be doing a video on this itself because of some of the interactions and some of the things that happened during the event. But I wanted to add it here tonight and just give you a sneak preview of it, because it covers not only the hair that's covered from head to toe, but it also looks at some of the strange events that happened around these creature sightings. And I'm going to be bringing you more of those over the next few months. Bigfoot in a Puddle, 2007. Now, this is a second-hand account told to me by a very good friend who knew the witness very well. It happened in 2007, and all my friend could remember was that it was winter time and it was around 6 a.m. The incident happened on a lonely ancient mountain road that threads from just northeast of Creeth to Perth in Scotland. The mountain is littered with prehistoric sites. Now, the lady who was driving lived in one of the area's isolated farmhouses, and she was on her way to work in Perth, and she intended, as always, to take the main road, the A85. However, on reaching the junction, she found the road blocked, and the sign that directed her to continue her journey along the aforementioned track, instead, as all traffic was being diverted this way. The road was unlit, and it was narrow and wet, so she negotiated her way cautiously, not meeting any other vehicles as she drove. The only sounds were that of a car's engine and those that the tyre made on the wet road. Now, she travelled a fair distance, when just as she slowly rounded a bend, her eyes fell upon a sight that she has never forgotten. Knees bent, covered with its head down, was a gigantic hairy man. He looked exactly like a man, but he was covered in hair. He had hands with 5 fingers and was very tall. He was crouching there drinking water from a puddle. Now, the lady braked on seeing him, and the car was only a few yards from him now. She couldn't believe her eyes. The creature glanced sideways at her, and with seemingly no effort whatsoever, it bounded easily over the fence and raced with unbelievable speed up the boulder-strewn mountain slope and into the woods. But the strangeness wasn't over. As soon as the creature slipped into the trees for no reason at all, the lady's car began to roll over sideways. 3 times it turned, over and over and over, eventually landing on its side. The woman, now partially suspended in a seatbelt, was astonished to see that the cassette tape and other items on her dashboard had not moved at all from where she'd put them. Everything was in its normal place. Her only injury was to her shoulder, and that was only slight, she said, and was caused by the seatbelt. Fortunately, she had a mobile phone with her and was able to phone for help. Now, my friend is a medium, and a very good one, and she told me that only a week or so previously, she and her husband had been driving along the very same road, and that's how the conversation had come up, because she said upon approaching the exact spot that her friend was to encounter the hairy man. My friend, the medium, was overcome with an intense sense of dread and bawled at her husband to hurry past. Now, as you probably realised, all of these accounts, there is no mention of the word Bigfoot. For all it's in the title of the last report, that was done by the person taking the report. And if you listen to the witness, she never mentioned Bigfoot. She said it was a tall, hairy man. Normally, the words they use are creature, thing, or ape man, and they're the most common names used by the UK witnesses to describe the strange, upright, bipedal hairy figures that they see. I wonder how many others there are out there who have seen something similar but have no idea how to describe it, even if they knew where to report it to. Now, as we've seen over the last year or so, the accounts come in from all corners of the UK. There is no preferred place, it would seem. Ordinary folk doing ordinary things see impossible creatures and experience impossible events. Now, over the next few months, we'll be helping a number of these witnesses go back to the day of their event under hypnotherapy, in the hopes of finding some answers for each of them, and if possible, take them even further back, to see if there's an underlying pattern in their lifetime, a history of strange events, perhaps locked away. Until next time, thank you very much. Good night.